But if we get it wrong, if I say it is 8 hours versus they are 8 hours.
Yeah, if you tell me è le 8, I understand that it's 8.
Okay.
And I just recognize as an Italian, you use the wrong verb. It's okay.
Easy. Mm-hmm. We won't be thrown out of Italy.
No.
Italian for Travelers, Episode 6, the time episode. In today's episode, we learn how to tell time in Italian. Elisa shares typical opening and closing times in Italy and why travelers should get familiar with the 24-hour clock before an Italian getaway.
Ciao! Benvenuti a Italian for Travelers, the second season of the Postcards from Italy podcast. I'm Elisa, a native Italian speaker and teacher. Although I was born in Emilia-Romagna, I've spent the last 18 years living in the US and teaching Italian to mostly American students. Along the way, I've learned a lot about what first-time travelers and new Italian language learners really want to know. In short, they want to live la Dolce Vita glamour, but without the grammar. This season, let's stamp your passport with some Italian vocabulary, cultural tips, dialogues, and practice lessons with my real-life student and friend, Erin. But we only share a fraction of what we talk about on our streaming episodes.
Visit www.postcardsfromitalypodcast.com for our bonus materials and subscribe to our newsletter for updates.
With our podcast and bonus materials, I can help you transform from just another tourist into a curious traveler. Okay. Here we go. Remember, don't worry if you cannot understand much during your first listen. Just relax, sit back, and enjoy la dolce lingua. Ok, cominciamo. Let's begin. Cari amici, benvenuti. Welcome to Italian for Travelers, Episode 6, titled L'ora.
The time.
Yes. I would say today's episode title is pretty self-explanatory. We're going to teach you how to say the time in Italian. We'll start with a brief review of numbers from 0 to 60, and then follow Christy, who is our main character, as she learns that time and punctuality are a difficult concept for Italian buses and Italians in general. And then we'll learn to say the time informally using the 12-hour clock and formally with the 24-hour clock. And while we're at it, we'll teach you a few tricks to feel more comfortable around those big numbers.
This is a really important lesson, especially coming from the US and seeing the ways in which time is expressed in Italy and for at ticket booths and on train schedules. This is an important one. You might have to listen to this a couple times.
Yes, this one definitely is one of those episodes that you don't want to miss, especially if you're taking any type of public transportation, if you have to visit any type of museum at a certain time, reserve tickets for certain things at a certain time. Definitely very important.
So what's our colorful expression for the day? Our Italian idiom. I look forward to them every week.
So, our colorful expression is non rimandare a domani quello che puoi fare oggi.
Don't put off till tomorrow what you can do today. And you had a second one.
We have a second one because the first one is the official proverb. And it's encouraging people to do right away what they're able to do. Like, don't push things to tomorrow if you can take care of them right now. But what it has become in time for many Italians is non fare oggi quello che puoi rimandare a domani.
Don't do today what you can put off till tomorrow.
Yes. This is a more practical view of how the average Italian operates.
Well, maybe my American teenagers are Italian.
Probabilmente.
Yeah, I feel like I know this as well. Maybe it's not just relegated to Italy.
Yeah. Now, before we dive into this lesson's topic, let's refresh our knowledge of numbers from 0 to 60, which we covered in lesson 5. We'll need them later.
Okay. 0.
0.
1.
1.
2.
2.
3.
3.
4.
4.
5.
5.
6.
6.
7.
7.
8.
8.
9.
9.
10.
10.
11.
11.
12.
12.
13.
13.
14.
14.
15.
15.
16.
16.
17.
17.
18.
18.
19.
19.
20.
20,
21,
21,
22,
22,
23,
23,
24,
24,
25,
25,
26,
26,
27,
27,
28,
28,
29,
29,
30,
30,
31,
31,
33,
33,
38,
38,
40,
40,
50,
50,
60.
60.
So I know we skipped a couple of numbers.
Yeah, as we learned in our last episode, once you learn the pattern going from 20 to 30, you can use the same pattern going from 30 to 40, 40 to 50, 50 to 60, and so on.
Okay.
So what if we wanted to say the full count from 30 to 40?
It would be 30,
Mm-hmm.
31,
Mm-hmm.
32,
Brava.
33,
Mm-hmm.
34,
Bravissima.
35,
Sì,
36,
sì,
37,
sì.
38, because I take the A out and I just have
Yes.
38,
Brava.
39,
Sì.
e 40.
Perfetto.
Okay, it
Eccellente.
works.
So,
It
yes.
checks out.
Yes. There is actually something rational in Italian too
Truly.
sometimes. Yeah. So now let's listen to Christy as she navigates, listening to times and saying times in Italian.
And she tries to catch a bus.
Yes.
This is something we may all need.
Esatto. Dialogue 1. Al bar.
At the bar. The setting is a crowded bar at lunchtime. Christy's finishing her pranzo.
Lunch. Tutto bene, signora?
Sì, grazie. But what time is it? Che ore sono, per favore?
Sono le 12:15.
12:15. 12:15. Gonna miss my bus. L'autobus.
Quale autobus deve prendere, signora?
What bus? Let's see. Number 94. Numero 94.
Ah, sì, quello per Porta Torre. Non si preoccupi, è sempre in ritardo.
Sì, sì, portatore. That's exactly where I need to go. But in ritardo? What does that mean? Scusi, signorina, cosa significa in ritardo?
In ritardo significa che non è puntuale.
Non è puntuale. Oh, meaning it's not punctual, not on time?
Esatto. Il 94 non è mai puntuale, arriva sempre in ritardo. Può prendersela con calma.
Ah, Italy. No rush, no worries. How wonderful.
Ah, Italians and time. You may already be aware that we have a complicated relationship with clocks. We are not known for our punctuality because time, after all, is relative. And contrary to the old American saying, in Italy, time is not money, unless you're talking to a taxi driver, a lawyer, or a plumber. For the rest of us, time is less important than enjoying the company of friends and family, savoring a fragrant cup of café at our favorite bar, or flirting with a pretty shop assistant. That's what living la Dolce Vita means after all. It's about setting aside your responsibilities for just a few minutes while savoring life in its delicate beauty, while daydreaming of a day at the beach or a date with Monica Bellucci, while someone else waits for you to come back down to earth and actually do your job. But if you do care about time and clocks are your thing, here's what you need to know before your next visit to Italy.
In Italy, we typically use the 24-hour clock in formal situations, that is, work appointments, confirming times and schedules for travel, as well as opening hours of shops, museums, and other establishments. We also use the 24-hour clock for all schedules relating to public means of transportation, like bus, train, metro, etc. If you're having a hard time adjusting to telling time with a 24-hour clock, subtract 12 from any hour after 12 noon to get a better idea of what time it is. For example, if your train leaves at 17:25, subtract 12 from 17 and you'll easily figure out that your train departs at 5:25 p.m.
Esatto.
I think this is great.
That's a handy trick that I see all my students appreciate. Because not everyone is used to using a 24-hour clock. I think in Europe, it's second nature. We just
And in the military.
Yeah.
I came from a military family, and so I definitely know dark 30.
Oh.
And I also know to subtract 12. So
yeah, I think a lot of people, especially here in the US, are at first initially like struggling a bit to figure out those times. And so just subtract 12, meno 12.
yeah. One thing I like about it is that if you see a number that's above 12, you know that it's PM. You know that it's afternoon or the evening.
See?
It makes it very simple to know when your train is coming.
Yes, yes. I think the hardest is relating numbers like 19 p.m. to 7. That's what I see at least in class.
Yeah.
Like people have to kind of think about it for
If
a
it
while.
moves beyond 20, it feels like it's like so late. Yeah.
Yes. Well, let's continue. In informal situations, we mostly use a 12-hour clock and expressions like di mattina,
In the morning,
di pomeriggio,
in the afternoon,
di sera,
in the evening,
or di notte,
at night.
to clarify. So people could say, for example, alle 5 di pomeriggio.
So 5 in the afternoon.
Right.
Okay.
Or alle 10 di notte.
So 10 at night.
Yes. There's ways to get around the 24-hour clock, but you will need to recognize the formal way of saying time anytime you're taking a bus, a plane, because definitely it will be announced using formal time. They will not be telling you 10 di sera or 10 di notte.
Okay. Yeah. It's
sure.
poetic, though.
Yeah.
I'm going to let Elisa tell us about this next one.
Oh. Being on time is not one of our strong suits. You'll find that people are rarely puntuale,
On time.
never in anticipo,
Early.
and most often in ritardo.
Late.
For meetings both formal and informal, it is not uncommon for people to be up to 15 minutes late. This is what we call il quarto d'ora accademico, a century-old tradition that allowed university students 15 minutes to walk to their classroom after the bell rang. Although most of us are no longer walking to classes these days, we're still happy to take advantage of that extra time.
That's what I need to call it.
Well, you say fashionably late here, right?
Yes. Sometimes I feel like I'm a lot less fashionable and a little out of season.
You're always fashionable.
Oh, thanks.
If
And
you ask
Elisa
me.
gives me the Italian pass.
See,
I think I might be Italian.
See, that's the irony of it. I'm Italian. I'm always early. My husband is of German origin. He's supposed to be the one who's very strict with the clock, and he's always late.
Yeah, no, Brian and I are exactly the same.
See.
In Italy,
L'orario di riposo or chiusura
midday closing hours is vital for the physical and emotional well-being of a culture so devoted to living la Dolce Vita at the expense of efficiency and convenience. With the exception of malls and supermarkets, most establishments are not open 24/7 and will close for
riposo,
rest, starting between 12:30 or 1:30 p.m. and ending around 3 or 4 p.m. Remember that many establishments will also have a weekly
giorno di riposo,
day of rest on top of their midday break. Always make sure to check their
orario,
opening hours and plan your activities around these times to maximize your stay in Italy.
esatto.
So is that still a thing in Italy?
Yeah, and to be honest, nobody uses that time to have an actual siesta or pisolino, as we say in Italian. But, many people will drive home for lunch, and it's just built in the daily schedule of many Italians. For some, it's becoming more similar to what we have here in the US, like a 9 to 5, but those are the lucky ones. Most Italians have working hours that revolve around a midday break.
For stores, museums, etc., just check the hours.
Always do. With little malls or larger malls or big shopping areas, it's now common for them to be open pretty much like from early morning to evening. But this is definitely not true for many smaller stores. Many family-run business that have to rely on the family itself to open and close. Oftentimes, the shop assistants are parts of the family or a hired person. Here in the US, we're so used to having stores that run with a staff of 10, 15 people.
Right.
And in Italy, it's just reduced to minimum. So that's why it's necessary oftentimes for them to close.
We do an episode later on about pharmacies. I had shared a story about a pharmacy, and I'll share it now because we're talking about the hours and really like taking note of the operating hours.
Yeah.
There was a pharmacy in a small hilltop town, and it was getting close to aperitivo hour. I don't know, what is that? 5, 6 o'clock?
Yeah.
I don't know what the real time is. Just feels like it's about time for an Aperol Spritz. But anyway, we were walking through the town, and I was thinking, oh my goodness, I need like an allergy medicine or whatever it was. And I found the first pharmacy and was looking at the hours, and that particular one was open from 8 a.m. until 11 a.m. and then from like 5 until 6, but only on Tuesdays and every other week. Basically, they weren't open. I think that that's unusual.
Yeah.
But when it comes to things like that, even like just little shops, just take note of it.
Yes. And if everything is closed, just go and have a spritz.
Yeah, just have a spritz. It's going to be
we
okay.
won't look at the time for you.
It will be fine.
And now let's get into the more technical stuff. Come leggere o dire l'ora?
How to read or say the time.
Okay. The easiest way to say the time in Italian is this. Sono le plus hour plus e plus minutes.
So what that means is they are the, let's say, 8 hours.
Yes.
And the however many minutes, 30 minutes.
Esatto. We do have a form that's the equivalent of it, and we'll see in a few minutes, but we only use it with certain specific times.
Okay. Oh, she's got an evil look and an evil laugh.
It actually makes sense. It sounds bad before you see it, but it actually makes sense.
Okay, tell us.
So, following that formula of sono le plus hour plus e plus minute, if I wanted to say the time in Italian, 10:27, we could say sono le 10:27.
So it is 10 and 27.
Yeah, it is the 10 and 27. You can add di mattina, di pomeriggio, di sera, di notte, if you need to specify whether this particular time is in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, or at night. So if you prefer to use the 12-hour clock instead of the 24-hour clock, when you yourself have to say the time, you can add these expressions. Di mattina, in the morning. Di pomeriggio, in the afternoon. Di sera, in the evening. Di notte, at night. As always, you have to be prepared to understand the time when it's expressed in the 24-hour clock.
Always.
Yeah, you don't have to use it yourself if it's harder, but you have to be prepared to recognize it. Now, for the tricky thing with the equivalent of it is, with times like mezzogiorno,
noon,
mezzanotte,
midnight,
and luna,
1 o'clock,
you'll have to use a slightly different formula.
Great.
Yeah. È mezzogiorno, è mezzanotte, è luna, or let's say è luna e 20. So è means it is.
So it is midday, noon. It is middle of the night, midnight. It is 1, or it is 1 and 20.
Yes, or any minutes after 1.
Right.
So with these times specifically, you need è because they're singular. We determined that sono le means they are the, and it's followed usually by plural numbers from 2 to 24. But when you have singular amounts of time, like una, or expressions that are singular, mezzogiorno, mezzanotte, then you need to use è. It is.
That makes a lot of sense. English is so weird, isn't it? I was just thinking we say it's 8, but it should be
They are
8.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
You also say how many years old you are. And you wouldn't catch an Italian dad saying that they're, 35 years old.
Oh, yeah.
we just say, I have 35 years. That's what I have.
I have 35 minutes. That's it. 35 hours, possibly.
Yes, and we're never old. Okay, so like many languages, we also have words for quarter, half, and 3/4. Quarto, mezza, and 3/4. You can find these expressions obviously in the glossary below. You don't have to use them if you feel that using plain numbers is easier, but again, be prepared to recognize them when people use them.
Yeah. If you ask what the time is or you ask when something is opening again or closing, you will hear those when an Italian is speaking with you.
Yes. If they tell you the time in an informal way, they'll definitely use quarto, mezza, or tre quarti. Formally, no. Formally, the time tends to be read as hours and minutes, to be clear.
Okay.
So let's look into our first glossary for this episode, parole ed espressioni essenziali su tempo e orari.
Keywords and phrases about time and schedules.
Simple communication is our goal. Therefore, we often provide the default masculine form of a noun or an adjective, and we prioritize formal communication over informal, unless otherwise noted. Don't worry, Italian speakers will still understand you.
Hour.
Ora,
Minute.
minuto.
What time is it?
Che ora è? Or che ore sono?
It's 3.
Sono le 3.
It's 3:20.
Sono le 3:20.
It's 3:30.
Sono le 3:30 or mezzo.
It's 3:15.
Sono le 3:15.
It's 3:75.
Sono le 3:75.
It's 3:55.
Sono le 3:55.
It's 1.
È l'una.
It's noon.
È mezzogiorno.
It's midnight.
È mezzanotte.
What time does this open?
A che ora apre?
What time does this close?
A che ora chiude?
What time does it start?
A che ora inizia?
What time does it end?
A che ora finisce?
At 7 in the morning.
Alle 7 di mattina.
At 2 in the afternoon.
Alle 2 del pomeriggio.
At 8 in the evening.
Alle 8 di sera.
At 11 at night.
Alle 11 di notte.
At 9 sharp.
Alle 9 in punto.
From 8 to 12.
Dalle 8 alle 12.
Until 12.
Fino alle 12.
Open all day.
Orario continuato.
Is the train early?
Il treno è in anticipo?
Is the train on time?
Il treno è puntuale or in orario?
Is the train late?
Il treno è in ritardo?
What time does the train for Rome leave?
A che ora parte il treno per Roma?
What time does it arrive?
A che ora arriva?
In 30 minutes.
Fra 30 minuti or mezz'ora.
In an hour.
Fra un'ora.
Now.
Adesso. Okay, so now let's put all that new vocabulary in practice with Lessico in pratica.
Vocabulary in practice.
Okay, Erin. Come si dice? How do you say, is the train on time?
Il treno è puntuale.
Bravissima.
Or I could also say il treno in orario.
È in orario?
È in orario.
Yes, bravissima.
Okay.
Such a pointless question.
Well, this is why I like traveling in Italy. I might have an extra couple of minutes.
Yeah. Numero 2. Come si dice, what time is it?
Che ora è? Or I could also say che ore sono?
Sì, brava.
And what is the difference between those?
No difference when you ask the question.
So even if it were afternoon, I could say che ora è?
Oh, sì, sì. In the question, you don't have to match the verb è or sono to the hour the way you have to do it in the answer.
Okay.
So at 8 p.m., le 20, I could ask che ora è? It doesn't matter. Or che ore sono? Same. It's just in the answer that you have to be mindful of è or sono le.
In case we lost anybody to the grammar, apologies.
In the question, it doesn't really matter because whether you say che ora è or che ore sono, it just always means what time is it, and it always refers to any hour of the day.
Okay.
But when you answer, you have to remember that most of the times you say sono le, they are the 3 hours and 20 minutes, for example, le 3:20. But then when you have singular, grammatically singular expressions of time, like mezzogiorno, noon, mezzanotte, midnight, or luna, 1, then you need grammatically to say è. È mezzogiorno, it is. È mezzanotte, it is midnight. È l'una. It is 1.
So speaking on behalf of listeners who are like, oh my gosh, you're making my brain explode.
I've heard that before.
Yes. But if we get it wrong, we won't be thrown out of Italy.
No. We always say grammatical mistakes don't get you in trouble. Occasionally, they may compromise communication so badly that, you buy the wrong ticket for the wrong time or you order the wrong item on the menu. But nobody's going to frown at you because you said the wrong article, you didn't do an agreement with an adjective or skipped a certain verb. No, the real mistakes are food mistakes, and we all know that.
Yes.
We'll have a few episodes about that to make sure that you do not make that type of faux pas.
Yeah, but if I say it is 8 hours versus they are 8 hours.
Yeah, if you tell me è le 8, I understand that it's 8.
Okay.
And I just recognize as an Italian, you use the wrong verb. It's okay.
Easy.
Mm-hmm. Poi, vediamo, next one. Numero 3. Come si dice? It's 3:30 in the afternoon.
Sono le 3:30 nel pomeriggio.
Sì, del pomeriggio.
Del pomeriggio.
Uh-huh. Sono le 3:30. And if you wanted to, you could also say sono le 3:30.
3:30, so 3:30.
Yeah. So in the glossary, we gave you a few sample sentences of 3:15, 3:30, 3:75, to teach you these informal ways of expressing time, like quarter, half, and 3/4. But you also know the rule that you can read the time as saying sono le plus hour e plus minutes. Mm-hmm. So if you tell me sono le 3:30, that's perfect as well.
15:30.
15:30 would be preferable.
Okay.
People understand, of course, but just a reminder to our listeners to avoid using informal expressions like quarto, mezza, or 3/4 when using a 24-hour clock. The point of the 24-hour clock is to be formal and to be perfectly explicit about the time, and formality does not allow for expressions like quarto, mezza, and 3/4, which are very informal.
Non-factual.
Yes, esatto.
Okay.
We stick to numbers when we want to be formal with the 24-hour clock.
Okay, great to know.
Perfetto. Poi, numero 4, come si dice, what time does it start?
A che ora inizia?
Perfetto. Numero 5, at 9 a.m.
Alle 9, or I could probably even say alle 9 di mattina.
Benissimo, brava.
Okay.
Numero 6, come si dice, what time does it end?
It's my husband's favorite question. A che ora finisce?
Sì, bravissimo. My husband's favorite question is, a che ora si mangia?
Oh, wait.
What time do we eat? Or cosa c'è per cena? What's for dinner? Numero 7, at 12 p.m.
A mezzogiorno.
Perfetto.
So that is at noon, but I could also say alle 12.
Yes, formally you could say alle 12. Numero 8, come si dice? How do you say, what time does the train for Rome leave?
A che ora parte il treno per Roma?
Bravissima. Numero 9, at 19:40.
Alle 19:40.
Brava.
Okay. Or I could also say alle 7:40 di sera.
Brava.
Okay.
Yes, eccellente.
Di sera or di notte? Does it matter?
Oh, no. You know what? In the U.S., I hear people oftentimes use at night when they refer to whatever, 7 p.m., 8 p.m. We don't do that. In Italy, it's sera, evening, until maybe 9 or 10 p.m. Not as like night, like
middle of the night.
Yeah, it's like seriously night.
Okay.
Consider that we eat dinner around, 8:30 in the summer, even later. So that's for us still evening. It's like still a very active time.
Okay. So 7 is not at night.
No.
Okay.
Unless your great-great-grandma who needs to go to bed with the chicken.
Oh, gosh.
So, l'ultima, numero 10. Come si dice? How do you say it's midnight?
E mezzanotte.
Bravissima. Or what if we wanted to say formally that it's 12 a.m.?
Oh, could you say alle 24?
Yes, sono le 24.
So that you would know that it was at the very tip top of the clock.
Yes.
But then, well, I guess midnight is also the beginning of the next day. So is there like a 0 o'clock?
We say le 24. No, we don't say le 0. Otherwise, the word has disappeared. Like, it's zero. Poof.
And maybe this is something we don't need to know, because at that time, you're either sleeping. Ciao, it's Erin. We're fading out here so that we can keep our free streaming episodes a reasonable length of time. For additional bonus audio and all kinds of other bonus materials, head to our website. Now back to the show.
Bravissima Erin e bravissimi tutti voi nostri ascoltatori. Good job for you two, our listeners.
And we love all of you all the time. All of the hours.
Around the clock. Ciao, it's Elisa again. As you can tell, Erin and I love to talk about what travelers can expect when they visit Italy. Not just language, obviously, but with the culture, food, and so much more. In our free streaming episodes, we only scratch the surface. But in our bonus materials, you'll get access to everything, including transcripts for each episode, as well as translations, vocabulary lessons, and cultural tips from today's roundtable. Visit postcardsfromitalypodcast.com for details. Have the confidence of an Italian even in simple conversations and everyday situations. With our bonus materials, you'll get ad-free, full-length audio conversations, practice exercises with written worksheets, and bonus graphics that decode gestures, road signs, and menus.
Our premium subscribers get one additional bonus not found anywhere else. For our Italian for Travelers family, we've created uninterrupted glossaries for each episode that include the English word or expression, followed by the Italian version, which is then repeated so that you can listen and learn, practice, and repeat. These no-fuss listen and repeat glossaries take the drama out of learning travelers' Italian. Listen in the car, on your morning walk, on planes and trains, even while doing dishes or making dinner. Each episode's glossary file features all of the mini-glossaries in that lesson, so you can focus on the terms and situations that matter most to you, like food, shopping, or sightseeing. This is only for our Season 2 bonus material subscribers, so sign up today.
If you're an intermediate learner, you may also love the lessons in our Season 1 bonus materials, so check out our website. Visit postcardsfromitalypodcast.com for details. Postcards from Italy is a labor of love, connecting different cultures as we explore the dynamic nature of modern Italy through its language.
And remember to follow us on Instagram and sign up for our emails to stay updated on webinars and classes.
Thank you for listening. Non vedo l'ora di incontrarci di nuovo.